Shoots and Scores Hockey Talk, where we talk everything hockey. I am John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Chris.
All right, guys, let's go. And the topics tonight are, of course, Chris is very, very happy about what we choose because it doesn't seem to matter what I choose. He's not happy, right, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
All right, first topic for tonight's discussion is my lovely Toronto Maple Leafs. Why? Well, because this team is in serious danger of missing the playoffs. Or are they? They are losing one-goal games consistently enough to be a problem. And yes, I know I wrote this question a couple days ago, and yes, they did win last night by 1 goal in overtime to St. Louis, who's not a good team. Can the Leafs turn the ship around, guys? Are they going to be the Rangers from last year? Are the Leafs going to be the Rangers from last year? Is that what's going to happen? I believe this team is more than adequate to make the playoffs, but I guess they have to believe it themselves. I want to know what you guys think. Mike, am I just panicking here? 17 games into the season, we got lots of time left. Is this all going to come together? The team's not that bad to be shouldn't really be a 500 team, should they?
No, I mean, I wouldn't say you're panicking. However, starting off like this was not what they had planned. So the goaltending has been very inconsistent. Stollers is hurt now. Wall's back. Morgan Riley's actually
played well,
putting up some points. So, yeah. I mean, he's chipping in, but they're clearly missing Marner. I mean, trying to fill his spot with, guys like Nick Robertson, who I'll give him credit has played well the last couple of weeks, but
he's no Mitch Marner.
he's no Mitch Marner. So, and I think some of these other teams are going to, kind of even themselves out. I don't see Detroit as, a team where they currently are staying there. So, I still think Toronto is definitely in the mix for a playoff spot. It's pretty tight there right now in the Atlantic. I mean, Florida's out, Tampa's, on the fringe right now.
Yeah,
but,
they're on the fringe. Yeah,
these teams here, they'll be fine. I think. I still foresee them making the playoffs. Although it's going to be closer than it was last year.
Chris, do you have anything to add to this? Am I just out of touch here? Are the Leafs just a shitty team? Should they be way under 500? What's going on?
Yeah, reality is starting to settle in here for Leaf fans. Marner, you can't lose a 100-pointer, and especially a guy who played like 25 minutes a game, played a little bit of defense, kill penalties. That's a lot of talent that walked out of the building, and the guys they brought in to replace him. Not happening. And the other piece is your star players have to be your best players. And Austin Matthews, I'll steal a line that someone said on television. It's almost like he's lost his fastball, right? He is not the same player he was 3 years ago, 4 years ago, when he shot the puck. I think the stats I remember calling is about how hard he shot the puck and how fast he skated. He was on like the 98th percentile in the league a couple of years ago, and now he's down to the 50th. Like his skating, his shot, everything has gone to average. Toronto fans should be very worried of what's going on with Austin Matthews. So if you lose a superstar and your other superstar is playing like an average player, this is what you get. A team that right now, I don't know, like William Nylander is playing very well. You can't ask more of him.
Yeah, he looks good.
And the team is not in the playoffs. So there's just, I don't know. I guess Florida, they're going to be on the bubble too. So maybe Toronto has a chance, but Detroit's playing better, right? I think they're first now. Detroit's first.
Boston
Conference or
Boston,
the Atlantic.
Right?
Yeah. Boston's up there, but Carolina exposed Boston. They figured out that they're not there yet. So
did Washington expose Carolina? We'll talk about that later.
I already told you Washington played like they were in the playoffs, and their record shows that they can't play at that level every game, and that's why they're below 500. So
okay, fair enough.
Yeah, the Leafs are in trouble. There's no doubt about it. And the injuries are piling up.
Yeah, that's true. The injuries are definitely
it's not looking good, but Montreal's got injuries. Well, we'll talk about Montreal later.
Yeah, we'll talk about them. Yeah, that's right, because they're one of the subjects for tonight.
Yeah, but Nylander scoring. Matthews doesn't look like a superstar anymore. They lost Marner. Goaltending is gone back to average, let's say, right, from what they played last year. So it is what it is.
I thought the goaltending seems, from what I've seen now, I haven't watched a lot of games this year. I've seen parts of some. I thought the goaltending seemed okay. I mean, I don't know if that word
Well,
works for you
Fuller's
guys or
last
not.
year was 920 something, which
Yeah,
again is just not sustainable. And now I think he's 890.
No.
He's
yeah, which
probably in
is
between, but he's not
yeah, that's right.
920 and he's
Yes,
not 890, right? So yeah.
right, right.
And I mean, as far as the goaltending, it's not as good as last year, obviously, but the other issue is that Toronto's not scoring as many goals as they were last year, and that's
Yeah,
the whole Marner effect right there.
I mean they
So
could win games last year 7-5.
yeah, and their secondary scoring has it's kind of dried up a little bit more so now that the other teams basically only have to really worry about shutting down Nylander and Matthews. If you can limit those guys, you should win the game. Like uh, it goes without saying. Like if you can keep the top one or two guys in check, you should beat the teams that have these guys. So I mean, uh, yeah, like I said too, Toronto is probably more of a bubble team this year than they were last year. Last year they were pretty much a lock to make the playoffs, and of course they did. So, but the losing Mariners really going to bring them back down a little bit into the category where it could be a wild card position because they're going to battle with Detroit and Montreal, and who knows if Boston can sustain what they're doing. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. I mean, Toronto's, they're not a team that's shy to make a move if they have to. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, they got no bullets in the gun. Though.
Not
Yeah,
so
I'm just
much. But they'll move a first. They'll move. They're willing to move some younger guys, but
I just hope they don't get rid of the coach. That's what I
no,
don't want
that
to see.
there's no way they're getting rid of Berube. Would make no sense to do that. Not after a year and 17 games or whatever it is. So
Well, I hope that you're right. We'll see what happens. You just never know in Toronto. I mean, they want to win a Stanley Cup so damn bad. They got to make the playoffs first. So, whose phone is that? Oh, okay.
Upstairs, my phone upstairs, I guess.
All right. Let's go on to our second topic because talking about Toronto is depressing enough. Let's
Indeed.
go on to the Colorado Avalanche because now when I made up this question, they had the most points in the NHL with 31. They are 13-1-5. I mean, that's a pretty damn good record after 19 games. If they don't have any major injuries this year, are they the team to beat in the West? Now, I know I've asked this question before about some other teams. But, I mean, they look so good. If not then who is it going to be, Chris? What do you think?
Great start, yes. But we can't forget last year in the playoffs, they lost to Dallas Stars team was missing their two star players in Robinson and Heiskanen, right? So yeah, great start, but it doesn't really mean anything come playoff time. Are they one of the favorites? Yes. Will I say they are the favorite? No, I won't. We'll discuss that in April, right? When the time comes and we see who's healthy and who's doing well. But yeah, that's a super start from the Colorado Avalanche. There's no way around it.
Man, they just look so good, though. I mean, they're really good out there. Mike, what do you think?
well, like you guys said, right now they're playing great. Injuries haven't been a big factor so far, although Nikushkin's hurt now, so we'll see what happens, what they do with their lines there. The thing is Colorado is getting a lot of production throughout the whole lineup. They've got a lot of lesser known players that are putting points up and chipping in. The one that is there's actually two that aren't, and that's Brock Nelson and Gabriel Landeskog, who were thought that they
Yeah.
would be
Yes.
putting points up. Nelson, I don't even know if he's got 10 points. Landeskog's only got 6, I think. So, with these two guys who are expected to produce and they're not, and they're still winning, that's pretty good on their part. Like I said, their depth guys are really chipping in, like Olofsson, who was like they grabbed late in the free agent, like late in the summer to pick him up. He's played well. However, my concern with Colorado is if this goaltending can hold up, because
Well, now
Scott
we're talking about a second year here now, Mike. I mean, it was pretty good last year.
yeah, but looks like Blackwood's lost his job after they just gave him a $5 million something contract, which I said last year was a bad move. Um,
You did say that. Yes, I agree.
but Wedgwood, can he really keep this up? He's a career backup goalie, so that's the thing. Like, how long can they keep this going? Is the question.
Didn't somebody drop him in our hockey pool, Blackwood?
Blackwood, yeah, Ben dropped
Somebody
him.
dropped him. I saw that. My eyes was like, "What? Like, can I
Yeah.
afford to go get him?" Like, I pay. People don't have any patience. They're like, I like Wedgwood.
Well, hey,
Really? Come on.
Wedgwood's playing every game pretty much, so I mean,
Yeah,
it's not
the
losing.
wheels are
So
going to fall off the
you
wagon
got
there
to
shortly.
think. You got to think. I
Yeah,
mean, in my opinion, neither one of these guys are really good. But
yeah.
right now, the numbers are saying otherwise. But I don't think that. I think that it's more of a fairy tale with these
Mhm.
two, because I don't think that they can hold up what they've been doing. So
Yeah.
and Cale Makar is being Cale Makar. Like, every time he's on the ice, they're a threat to score. So if you're looking at, right now, I think he's top 10 in the league in scoring, something like that. But in all honesty, I think he's the MVP right now in the NHL. Like, he is the difference maker. Like, I mean, I know you got your McDavids and, Celebrini's having a great year, and Bedard, but Cale Makar is the best player going right now, in my opinion.
The team looks so good when they're on the ice, and it doesn't seem to matter which line is out there from what I saw. But you're right. I believe that Makar has a lot to do with that. And some of the other defensemen are trying to play like him. I don't think anybody can, but it must kind of work its way through the whole lineup, right? I mean, everybody sees these guys doing this, and they must feed off of it a little bit for a while.
Well, I mean, a guy with the talent that he's got and the speed that he's got, hard to contain. And you put him out there with McKinnon and Nitschkash. I mean, they're lighting it up too. So
Yeah.
the
Yes.
power play, it's pretty deadly. So
That power play is pretty unstoppable, kind of like Edmonton's was a couple of years ago when they were going at it.
well, they've got the speed out there and the puck movement. I mean, McKinnon himself with the moves that he makes. So I mean, he's so creative that feeding Martin Etchkash has been fit right in actually for Rantanen, and I wouldn't have thought that. I would have thought, what, that they're taking a hit there, which in all honesty they should be, because I think Rantanen is the better player, but he's he's performing, so can't really complain about it.
All right. Okay. Well, let's go on to our third topic, and that's Adrian Kempe agrees to an 8-year extension with the Kings for an annual cost of $10.625 million, guys. Kempe's 29 years old. An 8-year contract extension puts him well into his 30s. Is this contract too much? Or is it just right for the Kings and for Kempe? Mike, what do you think of this? I thought, really, an 8-year contract?
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, it's a good fit, and when you're looking at the dollars, the eighth year is more or less, it's 10 million. He probably, you take the 10 million off that eighth year and spread that out on the first 6 or 7 or whatnot. That's more or less the contract. The eighth year is just, it's
Fluff.
it's basically there to keep the cap hit down. So. But it's expected that he would get that amount based off of the guys that have already signed. So he's LA's future. He's their top forward. I mean, Kopitar's done after this year. Who else do they got? I mean, Kempe's their guy. So
Chris, what do you think? Is this
Yep.
just too long of a contract or what?
No, no. This is he would have got that on the market. One, two. This is just like the same as the Minnesota Wild and Kaprizov, right?
They had to.
They have to keep him.
Yeah.
Um,
Fill the seats, right?
Well, Kopitar is done, right? He's announced that he's retiring. After Byfield, what do they have in their system as a top forward? Zero, zilch, right? And obviously they're not planning to do a rebuild, right? They're not planning to trade him and get assets and start over again because they still got Drew Doughty sitting there, right? So they were stuck making this play. And probably next year, if they're not doing very well, Kempe's name will probably be the one coming up for trade when they do make that decision. But no, they're kind of forced to make this play. And I think the one guy out there now in the market, Alex Tuck, is probably very excited because he's a very, very similar type of player. And now he's got a benchmark for his negotiations with the Buffalo
He knows
Sabres.
how much he's worth on the market, right?
Yeah.
Well, I thought it was interesting. I thought that it was a little bit too long, but I know what you guys are saying. They really didn't have a choice. I understand. It just seems like a lot of money, but really, with the cap going up and everything else, it's probably not that bad. So, but I wanted to throw it in there and see what you guys thought of it.
Yep.
I couldn't get either one of you to bite on saying that it's too long, so that's all right. Maybe next week I can do better. We're going to go on to our fourth topic. One of Chris's favorites, and Mike being a closet Montreal Canadiens fan is going to love this question. The Canadiens sit sixth in the conference, or they did the other day when I made up these questions, with 22 points at 10, 6, and 2. The injury bug is starting to bite hard in Montreal. Doc is out, of course. Newhook, like you guys said, he would be injured. I believe you both were talking about that. He underwent a procedure in his right ankle. That's what I read anyway. And I know they have a defenseman injured and blah, Lord knows what else is injured there.
Kirby Doc's hurt.
Yeah.
I think Kirby Doc's the one we said that was like a guaranteed injury for that team.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was Doc and not Newhook.
It was Doc, I'm pretty sure.
It was Doc, okay. Can this team keep things a rocking? I mean, they're in sixth place in the conference, starting to get the injury bug. I see them starting to pile up a few losses here. They lost to Dallas last Thursday, 7-0. I wanted to bring that up. That's really the main reason why I wanted to bring up this question, because they lost last week to Dallas 7-0. Guys, what's going on here, Chris? Can they keep their spot in the conference?
So their second line's gone, right? And
yes,
is it Caden? It's Caden Gould who's out with another injury.
Oh, yes, that's right. It was Gould. Yeah.
The hits just keep coming. Kirby Doc, was he punched in the back of the head or something? Is that what happened there last game? I think I saw a highlight of him on the ice and someone kind of hit him while he was on the ice.
I don't know, honestly. I just know that he's out. He folded up like a cheap matchstick.
Yeah. I do expect the GM Hughes is not going to sit and do nothing, because I think they really believe they want to get this team back into the playoffs and see what they can do. So even if the injuries are piling up, I fully expect them to make some moves. They've been looking for a second line center. Seems like the whole league is looking for a second line center. But they'll make some moves to try to do their best to get back in the playoffs. They're not going to just sit idle and watch this thing go. But the goaltending, I don't know about the goaltending. Monty Below is not very good.
Poor guy. Every time you say that too, I have to put his picture up and,
And Doobies or Dubos or whatever the heck that guy's name is. Never heard of him until this year. So if Montreal fans want to believe in their goaltending, good luck. But yeah, I'm sure they'll make some moves, but it's going to be tough sledding when you got no second line. And I think Gould is playing over 20 minutes a game. They got Dobson, but they got issues in Montreal.
Mike, what do you think? Are they going to keep this sixth spot in the conference? I mean, they've been doing really well, and they're already in sixth, so they've moved down some already.
With the current state, there's no way that they can maintain where they're at. However, they should have Calgary's GM on speed dial for Kadri, Rasmus Anderson.
Well, I've been waiting for Kadri to get moved somewhere.
Calgary's GM must be just salivating when he sees this happening because, he's easily going to get at least one first round pick just for Kadri alone, plus whatever they move Anderson for. So, and the other thing too is, aside from the injuries, they've lost Line AL, so he's out for a while now. Like we said, New Hook and Kirby Doc are out. We've seen this Kirby Doc injury coming a mile away, and it's probably not going to be the only one he gets knocked out for this year.
Poor
The
guy.
goaltending, like Montembeault, I don't pay attention that closely, but I think he gives up a goal on the first few shots every game. Like every time Montreal plays, I look at the shots and it's like, 3 shots or less and they've already got a goal against them. Like, I don't know what it is. I mean, the game I went to a couple weeks ago in Montreal when they played the Flyers, he let in 3 goals in like the first 6-7 minutes. So, we thought he was going to get yanked, kept them in, whatever. The Flyers wanted in a shootout, but the confidence in the goaltending, I'd be really worried about it. So, Dobish has played really well for them so far, but whether or not he can, if you look at his numbers from last year, they were average. So I don't think he's the next big thing, so to speak. So, Montreal is going to be in a tough spot here, especially while they've got these guys injured, because the guys, they're getting, some bonus points out of guys like Oliver Kapanen has stepped up. And I mean, should be a third line guy, but I think he's playing second line right now. But I don't think they have the depth to keep this going. And now that they've lost these players, it should be a lot easier for teams to keep, Suzuki and Demidov in check, because Slavkovsky started off pretty slow this year. He's only got like 9 points. So, those are the 2 guys that they got to focus on. And like I said, when we were talking about the Toronto, if the opposing teams can contain these 2 players to a reasonable level, then they should beat this team. Because aside from those 2 guys, I don't see a ton of strength in that lineup. So, So getting back to on point here, Montreal is not going to be able to maintain what they're currently doing. If they make a big move and they can get Kadri or Anderson or who else from Calgary, it'll definitely help. But we'll see. And Calgary should be starting to entertain offers really soon, because that team is going nowheres.
They should bring KK back.
I'm sure Carolina would love to give him back.
All right.
If they're smart.
Well, we'll see how smart they are, right? We'll see. Okay. Let's go on to our Hockey Profit segment, because you 2 are the Hockey Profits, and that's the way it is because I said so and it's my show. So, Chris, are you ready for the first Hockey Profit segment question?
Yep.
You're gonna love it, Chris.
Oh, it must be about the Capitals.
No, it's not. Oh. The Bruins are in first place in their division with 24 points.
Yeah.
How long will they stay in first, or will they be there all year?
I think Detroit already passed them, so nature's healing, and the Bruins will fall.
Okay. Mike, this question is just as bad as the last one when it comes to points. Celebrini with 27 points. I know he scored a hat trick last night. And Bedard with 26. I believe he had a hat trick as well. So anyway, so that doesn't include that. Both in the top 5 NHL scoring so far this year. Which player surprises you the most, Mike? Celebrini or Bedard?
Boys, it's tough.
I mean, they're really racking up the points here all of a sudden.
I would say if I got to pick between the 2, I'll say Celebrini, only because that team has scored a lot of goals for being a really bad team. And don't get me wrong, they tend to give up a lot of goals in some games too. But to see him take this step, because I mean, when you look at Bedard in his second year, he kind of want to say take a step back, but he didn't really move forward.
He just kind of stayed the same, sort of.
Yeah, exactly. So, I thought Celebrini would probably be on that same trajectory, but he's really played well. he put the team on his back there last night and scored all 3 goals to win the game. So,
Yep.
so I would say a slight edge to Celebrini between the two.
Okay, Chris, the New Jersey Devils star Jack Hughes was going to be sidelined after suffering a bizarre injury at a team dinner. I don't know if I've ever heard anything so crazy in my entire life when I was reading the story. After successful surgery on his finger, it is said Hughes' recovery is expected to be 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
8 weeks? Is New Jersey just protecting Hughes? Or will he be back sooner than 8 weeks? Chris, seems like an awful long time for the tip of a finger. Like, what the hell's going on here?
Well, it's probably trying to make him look like some kind of superhuman. He'll return in 5 weeks, and they'll be like, "Oh, look at me, I'm special." But
That's kind of what I
Jack
was wondering. That's
Hughes,
why I asked the question.
yeah, Jack Hughes get hurts every year, and that's probably the big problem with New Jersey. He can't stay healthy. This is, I know, a freak accident that might have occurred, but yeah, it is strange for 8 weeks. But again, who knows how deep it is? And I'm not a finger expert and cutting
Apparently,
myself with a knife or whatever, but
apparently he cut some tendons in his finger, and that's what the
and that'll
issue,
probably take a
main
long
issue.
time to heal, right? That's probably the issue, and you're probably feeling in the finger and everything, right? That's going to take a long time. So who knows? I'm no, I'm the kind of if you really got it in the tendons, I'm surprised not longer than 8 weeks, but I guess
I
we'll
don't know.
know after Christmas if it's a Christmas miracle and he shows up on a game, right? It'll be a Christmas miracle.
Maybe he'll be home watching Home Alone, all the Home Alones.
Yeah.
Well, he sits home doing nothing, getting ready for hockey.
And
Okay,
didn't
before he
someone
gets
else
into
get hurt today from some type of barbecue?
Luosterainen, E2
Who?
Luosterainen at a barbecue burned himself at a
He burned
barbecue.
himself in a barbecue and he's out. Like, what is going on?
So maybe him and Hughes are buddies, and they they figured out how to get off work for a while. Who
I
knows?
think the teams are all going to have to start supervising the players eating their meals moving forward. They're getting hurt more making meals and eating than they are on the ice sometimes.
They got to stop using Frank's Red Hot sauce on that meat and they're burning themselves with it, I think. Okay. Mike, let's go on to number 4 here. Carter Hart has been assigned to the AHL for conditioning, which I'm sure you are well aware of. Is
I'm
he
the hockey
going to
fool.
be is he going to be rusty when he comes back in December? He hasn't played in quite some time. Do you think he's going to be rusty? Is he going to have enough time in conditioning in the AHL to get up to par here?
Well, he's going to have enough time to get himself ready, but the AHL game to the NHL game's a little different. But I think they're going to ease him in. I don't think they're going to Aiden Hill is hurt, and Schmid's played pretty good for them in the meantime. So they'll ease him in and let him get back up to speed. I don't think they're expecting miracles right off the get go, but I think he's gonna be all right. The first couple games might be hit or miss, but I don't think it's going to take very long. I mean, I'm sure he's playing somewheres even prior to going to the AHL team to keep himself in shape. So,
Right.
yeah, I'm not too worried about it, but I don't think he's going to be taken over as the number 1 guy right off the get go. I think it's probably going to be 50-50. And it all depends too on how long Aiden Hill is out. So if Aiden Hill gets healthy, then they've got to decide what they're going to do because
They're going to have to do something. Well, that's kind of what I was wondering.
Yeah, they're going to have 3 guys. And I mean, Schmid, like I said, Schmid's played pretty good. He's probably the odd man out, but we'll see what they do. Maybe the Oilers will be in the market for a goalie.
No, they don't need to go. They're good just the way they are. They got Jean-Luc Picard. Come on now, Jean-Luc Picard. You don't need anything other than Jean-Luc Picard. So, number 1, that's all Picard has to say, and the wins just start coming. All right, Chris, number 5. The Hurricanes have lost a few games lately.
What? They're 5-1-1 in the last 7.
Question has been
Awesome.
worded. This question has been worded specifically for you.
5-1-1.
Well, the 1 loss is probably equal to 3 losses.
That's why. That's why
3 wins for another team. Yeah, felt like 3 wins for that other team. Felt like a playoff win for those Washington Capitals.
The reason why I'm asking this question is because of Washington, yes.
Okay.
And do you think that tonight they're going to win against Minnesota? Because
I hope
I believe
so.
they play Minnesota tonight. Are they going to
Yeah,
beat
they got
Minnesota
Minnesota
tonight?
tonight. I hope so. Why not, right? Mr. Anderson's back in the nets. Uh, sure. I always got to. I'm always going to say they're going to win, but
They're up against Wallstedt, 2 shutouts in a row. Maybe he makes
never
it
heard of
3
him.
tonight.
See, Wallstedt has never played a team that has 4 lines, and their fourth line has the first pick overall in the draft in Taylor Hall and the third overall pick in KK on the fourth line. He's never faced a team like this. This is the deepest team in the NHL, and yes,
If
they'll
you
win tonight. Just for you,
redraft
buddy.
that draft, Kotkaniemi is not even
Just
in the
Taylor
first
Hall's on
round.
number one. Taylor Hall's on number one. Yes.
Are
Enough said. Enough said.
the Hurricanes a little bit soft, Mike?
Soft.
I don't think they're soft. No,
No.
no,
Okay.
they're solid. I mean, you know,
I'm trying to start some
their
controversy here
defense are
between
they
you
got
two.
some guys that'll hit on the defense. They got Walker. He's a hitter. Nikishin's a hitter. Like their defense
They
is.
don't have fighters, quote
Yeah.
No,
unquote.
well, I don't think you need fighters in this
Uh,
day and age in the NHL.
but
However, their
they got
defense has been
small
hit
guys
pretty
that got
good with
size.
injuries.
What was that, Mike?
Their defense has been hit pretty good with injuries there the last while.
Yeah,
I think
that's true. Yeah.
I think Chris might be getting the call next to go suit up with the
That
amount
would
of
be
guys that
interesting.
And they're
been
still
going down.
first in the conference with they had 5-6 guys hurt, and they were still winning games. It does make you think about these teams like the Maple Leafs and Brewery and people saying that, oh, why can't Brewery get them to play hard? Why can't they make them feel like they care? And yet Brendan Moore for 7 years has had this team playing harder than everyone else. And
Brendan Moore's just a damn good coach.
the message doesn't get lost. The players seem to keep listening. Like it is strange in how some places it doesn't work out, and other teams, they do what they're supposed to do, right? And now it's probably because they've brought in guys that have a similar mindset and work hard.
That's the key. That's the key right there.
You got to have those right set of players and get the buy-in. But yeah, Brendan Moore, I don't think gets the respect because he hasn't been part of Team Canada. He's never been asked to do any of these things, right? And yet the team continues to win all the time. So,
which is surprising. I mean, because Brendan Moore, even as a player, like you knew you were getting 110% every game out of him, every game without question. When the Flyers had him, I hated it when they traded him. They got Primo for him, and I always liked Brendan Moore. He was like a good second line center, and he understands the game so well. Surprised that he hasn't been picked as part of the coaching staff for some of these teams because
he's not in with the in crowd. That's the problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because you look at the teams that he's got. I mean, if you look at Carolina's forwards as a whole, there's no heavy hitters in those top two lines. So it's not like they've got a Matt Tkachuk or a Brady Tkachuk on one of the top 2 lines. They don't have.
They don't need him.
Player. They don't need it. But the defense is pretty solid when it comes to physical play. So, I mean, the goaltending is
that's their biggest concern is the goaltending and injuries.
It is because these guys get hurt, but they're, I want to say, slightly above average. I wouldn't say that they're below average, so they're average to slightly above average. Neither one's a superstar, but they play a system, and they seem like they have a good team culture there. Can they get past the Florida Panthers this year is going to be the question.
Mm-hmm.
The Florida Panthers, maybe they can't get past themselves this year. We'll have to wait and see. I've got one more question here for you, Mike. The Flyers' next game is at home tomorrow night against the Blues. Are the Flyers going to win this game and change their record to 10-6-3?
Well, they should have. They should have Vladar and nets. So, but St. Louis is always a team that's given Philly problems. So it's a tough one. If it goes to a shootout, the Flyers will win because they're good in the shootout. That Trevor Zegras, automatic goal. They shouldn't even have to. They shouldn't even have to let him shoot. Just put a check mark up on the board and say next. Are they going to win? It'll be a close game. I'll say they win 4-3. But I think St. Louis will give them a problem. But if you look at St. Louis's recent games, Binnington, he doesn't even look like he's engaged at all. So, um, yeah. So,
Team
and I
Canada.
assume Binnington will be the goalie in that tomorrow night. But
Is Team Canada on Bennington's mind there, Chris? Is that what's going on?
Wow, I I don't know if they have the kahunas not to take him, but he's not playing like somebody that should be on the Olympic team.
All right. So, is there anything else you guys wanted to go over? I know, Mike, you have to go here soon. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about tonight? There's one other quick thing I wanted to bring up, but
Do you want to bring up the Canada's team won the Grey Cup?
well, I did
Rough
want to
Riders?
mention. I did want to mention that the
Canada's
Rough
team.
Riders did win the Grey Cup.
That's
yes,
right.
I know that some of
The
our friends would be very happy that I mentioned the Rough Riders won the Grey Cup.
Number one franchise in Canada won the Grey Cup.
I also wanted to say something about a team that we never ever talk about, and that's the New York Islanders.
Oh, they're so boring.
But I believe the record, and I don't have it in front of me, it's either 11-7 or 10-7. I think it's 11-7.
Yeah.
I mean, can anybody see that coming? I know it's early, but 4 games up over 500, not bad for the Islanders. I mean, that team.
Well, when you look at the Islanders, you more or less got to look at where these points came from. It's all in the last 10 games, roughly, because they started off not good.
Oh, I know.
Their first handful of games, they might have won one. So they started off really bad, and now they've got it back on track. But I don't see the Islanders as a playoff team. They don't have that go-to guy on that team. I mean, Horvat's playing well over his head right now.
What are you talking about?
Schaefer, he's played great, but he's a rookie. How long can he maintain this level of play? Eventually the grind is going to get to him a little bit, I think. So so I mean, without having some go-to guys, you can't rely on Anders Lee and Kyle Palmieri and Jean-Gabriel Pajot to be your top scorers. I mean, they're not
boys.
So anyways, yeah, I think the Islanders are playing a little over their head right now. They'll come back down to earth. I mean, much like, some of the other teams we already discussed with Montreal and Boston and Detroit. I think they're going to balance themselves out a little bit too.
All right. Okay, guys. If that's it, then we'll just say like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you all next week. Later.
All right, later.
Bye.